Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna make this intro really quick because I want to jump right into it. So I wanted to film another video with the James Charles Morphe palette for two reasons. One, I just really like it, and two, there's just a lot of colors that I haven't tried out in this palette yet, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So I went scrolling through my video feed, looking at thumbnails just to see the kind of looks that I've created lately, and I noticed that I never ever do blue, which I don't do blue in my real life anyway, but I felt like I had done blue on my channel before, and I think I did one blue look and it was a long fucking time ago. And while I'm rambling, I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff on my face. So I actually got this ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the white shade, just to use as a base for these brighter colors. So again, I wanted to use blue, and then I kind of pulled my hair up out of my face just to keep my hair out of the way when I'm putting makeup on. And it ended up in this high ponytail, which I kind of laughed when I looked in the mirror because I realized that I looked like a freaking 80s cheerleader Barbie already with no makeup on. So I figured, fuck it, we'll go ahead and go with that theme. So I ended up doing a Google search and I just typed in 80s Barbie face, just to see what an 80s Barbie doll makeup kind of looked like, because I thought that it might be pink and blue. And in fact, it is really pink and blue, like that late 80s, early 90s Barbie look. So I thought I wanted to do something that was a little bit reminiscent of that look. I mean, obviously it's gonna look ridiculous and it's gonna look really fucking faggy, but we might as well go with that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I blended the concealer out all the way around my eyes, underneath, and on the inner corners. And you guys know the drill with the setting powder. I use the Ben Nye Pretty Pink Translucent Face Powder to set the under eye and to catch any fallout, because there's probably gonna be quite a bit today. I'm gonna go into the shade Flashback on this flat little shader brush, and I'm just going to set the brow bone with that and kind of bring it into the transition area just a little bit so that the pink shade has something to blend into there. And then I'm going to start laying down that pink. I'm going to go into Pinkity Drinkity, and I'm going to take that on a Morphe M433, and I'm just going to kind of stamp that into the area where I want that pink to sit. I'm not really going to start blending that out yet, but I just want to get it in there. Yeah, I really wanted to play around with some of the colors in this palette that I haven't gotten a chance to play with yet, because I've just kind of stuck with the purples and greens in this palette. I have played a little bit with some of the more neutral tones, and I like those too. But again, I never do blue, so I figure I might as well go ahead and do that today. And this color blends out into white shadow really easily, but I mean, again, this one doesn't really seem to have all that much pigment in it either, which is fine because I just wanted this to be a nice smooth transition color. I didn't want to add a lot of pink into this look, but just something to kind of take the harshness off of just throwing blue on the lid, you know what I mean? And that's really soft, that's really subtle, but I think I do want to pink it up just a tiny bit more. So I'm going to dip into the shade Skip, which is the hot pink in the palette, just barely dipping those bristles into that shade. I don't want to go overboard with the pink because when I lay the blue down, I want it to definitely be blue. I don't want it to end up becoming purple, because I'm just not going for a purple look today. So just adding a little bit more pink into this transition area here. So then on an R39, I'm going to dip into the shade Brother, which is almost like a, I don't know, would you call this like a periwinkle blue? Something like that. Seems like it could be a little bit more of that pressed pigment territory than an actual eyeshadow. And I'm just stamping that into place where I want it, just underneath where I have that pink laid down. Now, I was thinking about adding some glitter into this look as well. We'll see what ends up happening. I feel like this is a look that really kind of calls for glitter. The only thing that I knew for sure was that I wanted to do blue and that I wanted to add some pink into the look. So we are already there, so anything could happen at this point. Now, the makeup looks that you see on my channel here and that you see on my Instagram are definitely, for me, everyday wearable looks. Especially on my Instagram, all the pictures that I post on my Instagram are like my work makeup, really. When I'm getting ready for work in the morning, when I'm finished putting on my makeup, I'll get a bunch of pictures of that and I'll post those to my Instagram. And so again, you guys have seen what I wear out in public. But whenever I put on a look like this and I end up wearing it to work all day, the more that I look in the mirror at myself, the more ridiculous I just think that I look. and the more I really want to just kind of wipe it all off. I mean, it's just like anything, you know, you have your comfort zone and, you know, you have like kind of the thing that you like to do, and anything outside of that is going to be uncomfortable. But a look like this that's so clowny, this is definitely not my everyday go-to kind of look. So, but I definitely do wear a lot of glitter in my day-to-day. I fucking love glitter. And this shade seems to be doing okay. It's laying down all right. It's building pretty nicely. It doesn't seem to be patchy or weird anywhere. Now, I haven't really started to kind of blend it out yet. I'm still kind of packing it on and laying it down, but so far, this is a pretty good one. Now I'm going to take a Morphe M330 and I'm going to dip into that same shade, Brother. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of stamp it into the creasy areas of my lid and just kind of build up a little bit more intensity with that color. And there might be just a tiny bit of fallout with this shade, but nothing crazy. And I think I have enough powder laid down there that it won't be a problem. And when I get in here and I fill in these creases in my eyelids, what I do is I actually kind of grab onto my eyelashes and just kind of give them a little bit of a tug so that I can stretch that skin out a little bit so I can go in and press that color into that area. And just like the purple in the first tutorial that I did with this palette, I really am taking this blue shade and just kind of pressing it in where I want it and not like swiping it around. Because again, I don't know how much you would blend that blue away by swiping it back and forth, but I do know that you really get a lot more saturation of that color by pressing it in. And while I've still got this brush in my hand, I'm gonna dip into Brother again, and I'm gonna start to coat the lower lash line. I figure we might as well have some blue smokiness going all the way around the eye today. Change of plans. I'm gonna use an E36 to stamp that color into that lower lash line, just because I figure we'll get a little bit more intensity with that color with a brush that's a little smaller and a little bit less fluffy. So now I've got that color stamped into place exactly where I want it. I did have a fair amount of fallout, but I went back in and I cleaned everything up. I laid down some more powder. Now I'm gonna take that same R39 that I had originally stamped down Brother with, and I'm just gonna take whatever is left on the tips of those bristles, and I'm just gonna start to blend that in a tiny bit, mostly by kind of tapping the brush on the outside edge of where I originally laid that color down. And this is almost more of like an ultraviolet kind of tone anyway. So there is a little bit of purple to this blue, but again, I really want this overall look to read blue and not purple. So I'm just gonna be really careful about the way that I'm blending this out. And then with the M433 that already has pink on the bristles, I'm gonna dip back into the shade Skip, and I want to add just a little bit more pink into the blend on the edge here. And blue is a tricky one for blending, especially as far as the edges go, because blue blended out on its own, it just doesn't look good. It never looks flattering. It always looks a little bit ridiculous. So just having something along the edge there, no matter what the color is, to just kind of soften that area up. And it's hard to find a neutral transition shade that really blends blue out really well. Like, I feel like you almost just need like a gray if you wanted like that natural kind of transition to blend a blue eyeshadow out with. But again, I figure if you're gonna have blue eyeshadow, you might as well full on clown it and throw some pink in the mix too. So that's what we are doing today. And the blue eyeshadow actually makes my green eyes look green. They always photograph blue. So often people comment on my blue eyes in both my videos and in pictures, but they really are green in real life. And I feel like it takes a color like this to really show them off, because usually, again, they just kind of photograph blue. It's weird. And then I'm taking Skip on this M507. It's a little bit smaller. It's really detailed, but it's really soft and fluffy. And I just want to soften the edge of that blue right here in this inner corner a little bit more. And then using that same brush just to kind of softly blend out the blue underneath the eye into a little bit of pink around the edge. I don't even know what color of glitter should pair with this or like what the inner corner highlight color should be. I feel like it could really go anywhere. I guess we'll figure it out together. I have no idea what I'm doing here today. I'm just kind of winging it, which is, I mean, what I kind of normally do with my makeup anyway, so it's not any different than any other day, but what goes with pink and blue? I have no fucking idea. And even though this look is really bright and like rainbowy, I still wanted to have a fair amount of dimension and depth. So I'm gonna go into the shade Cola, which is like this dark navy blue. And I have not yet used this color, so we'll see how this one works out. I'm gonna take that on an E36, and I'm just going to stamp that shade on the outer corners. And this color definitely looks a little bit darker in the pan than it really seems to be going on, especially laid down next to the shade Brother. I think that once they're both on there side by side, they really look very similar to each other. But I'm still gonna take a little bit of that just under the lower lash line, on the outer corner anyway, just to build up a little bit more color on the outer edge there underneath the lower lash line, where I feel like the color's getting just a little bit patchy right there. And for the center of the lid, I'm going to stick with the blue theme. I'm going to use the Hawaii 5-0 size 4 glitter by Lit Cosmetics. You guys know the drill. I'm going to lay that down on top of the NYX glitter primer, and we are going to make the center of those lids just pop. Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. Now, I haven't used the shade Hello yet, which is like this light sky blue with a little bit of shimmer to it. So let's go ahead and pop that on the inner corners. Just see how that works with everything else we have going on. I think that's gonna work out really well. Good choice there, Jeremy. Good choice. Just kind of soften up some of that harsh edge that's going on right there. Blend him in a little bit more. Yeah, I think that worked out really well. And we'll go ahead and pop that onto this other inner corner really quick, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna put on the waterline today. So let's get some highlighter on this face really quick. I'm gonna use Blossom Glow by Wet n Wild, and I'm going to hit all of the normal areas. You know the drill. Cheekbones, lip bone, nose bone, forehead bone, all the bones. God, my nose is so fucking runny. So now that I've got the pink base laid down for my highlighter, I'm going to go into the shade Peacock. This is by Posh Pepper Beauty. I'm going to take that on an M504. Now, because I have the pink laid down, I want to go over top of that with something that has a little bit of a blue reflect to it, because it'll just kind of match the eye look a little bit more. And I don't know, I just really like colored highlighters. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a neutral tone highlighter, but there is definitely a time and a place for something a little bit more obnoxious, and this is the time and this is the place apparently. And my blush has pretty much come off at this point too, so let's go ahead and top that off. This is by MAC. This is called Alpha Girl. This was like a beauty powder, they called it. This was from the Heatherette collection, but I can't imagine this being an all over the face kind of color because it is really pink. So it's very subtle, but it's definitely like a pink. So let's see. I think that we're pretty close to done here. I already curled my lashes before I started today. So I'm going to go ahead and get a coat of the Voluminous Lash Paradise on my lashes, go ahead and top off my lips really quick, and we'll call this a look. And it's a lot of look too. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, go watch another one of my videos. Maybe you'll like that one. Thank you guys for being here. Tell all your friends about it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.